Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're diving into something pretty important for all you homeowners, specifically those of you here in Colorado Springs. We're talking about solar panels and, well, the big question, do they actually increase your home value?
Yeah, it's a question we get a lot.
It is.
And honestly, it's a good one.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
want to make sure you're getting the most out of your investment.
Absolutely. So we've gone through a ton of data and research to give you a clear picture. We're looking at national studies, data specifically from Colorado, and we even talked to some local experts here in Colorado Springs to get their take on things.
That's right. We really want to give you a localized understanding of what you can expect.
Yeah, so you can make the best decision for you and your property
Yeah.
right here where you live.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's kick things off by taking a look at the national trends. What's the big picture when it comes to solar and home values?
Well, the data is pretty interesting. Nationwide, homes with solar panels tend to sell for more.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent. We're seeing an average increase of about 4 to 7%.
Wow, that's significant.
Yeah, and think about it this way. If you have a $350,000 home, that could mean an extra $14,000 to $25,000 in your pocket when you sell.
That's a pretty nice chunk of change.
It
So
is.
that's nationally. What about here in Colorado? Does the state follow a similar trend?
It does. Colorado generally mirrors the national trend, although the increase might be slightly lower, somewhere in the 3 to 5% range.
Okay, still a solid increase, though.
Oh, absolutely.
What's cool about Colorado, though, are those awesome state incentives.
Oh, yeah. The property and sales tax exemptions for solar, those are huge.
Definitely makes a difference in terms of the overall cost and payback period, right?
It does. The payback period for your solar investment here in Colorado, well, it can vary, but it's usually between 5 and 13 years.
Okay, so that's Colorado as a whole. But let's zoom in even further to our own backyard here in Colorado Springs. What's the local scoop on solar and home values?
Well, we did some digging and talked to some folks right here in Colorado Springs. And local real estate experts, they do see the potential for higher home values with solar. In fact, we talked to one local investor, and they said they've actually seen higher rental income and faster appreciation for their properties with solar.
Okay, so it's actually making a difference for them.
It is.
So that's encouraging.
Now, the average cost for a 5 kilowatt system here in Colorado Springs is about $14,562 before incentives, with potential savings over 25 years estimated at around $24,082. And the payback period in Colorado Springs for a system like that, about 8.9 years.
Okay, but we also heard some other perspectives locally, some slightly more conservative estimates, right?
Yeah, we did. One realtor we spoke to, they suggested a more modest increase, maybe around $4,000 for a $20,000 to $40,000 solar investment.
So why the discrepancy? What are they seeing that might be driving that more cautious outlook?
Well, it seems like in Colorado Springs, there can be some hesitancy among buyers when it comes to taking on an existing solar loan.
Oh, so they're worried about that extra debt.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
And another thing is there are sometimes concerns about future roof maintenance, related to the panels.
Ah, yeah. Having to work around those panels if there's ever an issue.
Right.
Okay, so there's a few things to think about there.
Definitely.
So for all of us in Colorado Springs thinking about adding solar, what are the key factors that are really going to determine if it's going to boost our home's value?
Okay, so first and foremost, ownership is absolutely key. You really want to own your solar system outright to see that positive impact on resale value. Leased systems, those don't always transfer easily, and they're often not seen as an asset to the property by buyers.
Got it. Ownership is critical.
It is. And another thing to consider is the fact that electricity costs here in Colorado Springs, they're relatively lower than some other parts of the country, which means the immediate savings from solar might not be as dramatic as you might see elsewhere. But don't forget about those sweet Colorado tax incentives. Those are a major advantage and can help offset the cost.
Right, those tax breaks are a big deal here.
Huge.
Definitely helps speed up that payback period.
Absolutely. Now, another thing to remember is system size. Right sizing is important. Don't just go for the biggest system possible. You want to make sure it's the right size for your actual energy needs.
So avoid overdoing it. Don't go overboard.
Right. Efficiency is key.
Makes sense. What about the age and warranty of the system? Do those things play a role in how buyers perceive value?
They do. Newer systems with a solid transferable warranty, those are going to be a lot more attractive to potential buyers. Think about it. Who wants to buy a house with an old, outdated solar system that's going to need replacing soon?
Right, it's like anything else. Buyers want the latest and greatest.
Exactly.
So we've talked a lot about home values, but what about the actual energy savings you get from solar? How do those long-term benefits factor into the equation?
That's a great point. The energy savings, those are a huge part of the appeal of solar, and it's a tangible benefit that buyers really respond to. You know, solar can drastically reduce or even eliminate your monthly electricity bills,
Yeah, that's a major selling point for a lot of people.
for sure. And the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, NREL, they estimate that your home value could increase by $20 for every dollar you save annually on your energy bills. So if you're saving a couple $100 a month, that could add up to a significant boost in your property's value.
That's awesome. And don't forget about Colorado's net metering policy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That can really ramp up your savings.
Absolutely. With net metering, you can actually receive credits on your bill for any excess electricity your panels send back to the grid. So you're not just saving money, you're potentially earning it.
So we know that nationally there's a growing trend of home buyers prioritizing energy efficiency. But what about the buyers here in Colorado Springs? Are they on the same page?
It's a little bit of a mixed bag here in Colorado Springs. While some buyers are really drawn to the idea of solar and those lower energy bills, there's also some hesitation among others, especially when it comes to paying a premium for a solar-equipped home or taking over an existing solar loan. So it's definitely a factor to consider in this local market.
It's a bit more hesitant than the national trends would suggest.
Yeah, a little bit. There's still some education and awareness building to be done.
Okay, so last but not least, let's talk return on investment. How does investing in solar compare to other popular home improvements in terms of potential payback?
Okay, well, solar has the potential to give you a 100% return on your investment, even more sometimes, just through those energy bill savings over time. Now, compare that to something like a kitchen remodel, where you might only recoup around 75% of the cost when you sell. So in terms of pure ROI, solar can be a really smart choice, and homes with solar can sell faster too. NREL found that solar homes can sell up to 20% quicker.
Wow, that's a huge advantage.
It is. And another big plus is that solar provides ongoing financial benefits, unlike some upgrades that become outdated or lose their appeal over time.
Yeah, it's a long-term investment that keeps paying off.
Right, you're not just making a one-time upgrade, you're creating a system that generates savings for years to come.
So for everyone listening in Colorado Springs, thinking about taking the plunge into solar, it's clear that while national trends point to a strong connection between solar panels and higher home values, our local market has some unique dynamics at play. You've really got to understand the local factors like buyer preferences, electricity costs, and those all-important incentives to make the most informed decision for your specific situation.
Absolutely. And as we've talked about, owning your system, capitalizing on those Colorado tax incentives, and understanding the long-term energy savings potential, those are the key ingredients for maximizing the value boost solar can bring to your home.
So to wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about. We know that sustainability is becoming more and more important to people. How do you think that's going to impact the way homebuyers in Colorado Springs view solar in the coming years? Do you think those attitudes are going to shift and make solar even more desirable? And what other local factors beyond what we've already discussed might come into play to influence the added value of solar in our community? It's a lot to consider, but hopefully this deep dive has given you a solid foundation to make those decisions. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.